Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Reverend Chad Collins, National Organizer for Friends of Sabile North America, FOSNA. And I'm here today with our Executive Director, Jonathan Katab, one of the founders of Al-Haq, one of the 6 organizations that just raided over the night by the Israeli occupation forces. Jonathan, can you tell us what happened last night and what's going on over there?
Well, Al-Haq is one of the 6 civil society organizations. It's the first human rights organization in the occupied territories. It's gotten oodles like 45, 46 international prizes for its careful, independent, objective coverage of human rights violations. Israel wants to shut down these organizations. They want to silence the voice, especially the moderate, reasonable, nonviolent voices in the Palestinian community. So first it declared all these organizations to be terrorist organizations affiliated with PFLP, and demanded that the world stop funding those organizations, especially the Europeans. And the Europeans says, okay, what evidence do you have? Yeah. And they didn't have any evidence really, other than just accusations. There's a group called NGO Monitor, which is just a branch of the Israeli propaganda machinery abroad. So they wrote some articles about them. The Europeans studied very carefully this information. There is nothing there. These are genuine human rights organizations. So last night, they actually entered into the heart of Ramallah. They went into the church courtyard because Al-Haq rents some church property. They broke down the front door. They climbed to the 2nd floor. They blew up the door there, went in. God knows what they did with, maybe they were hoping to find some evidence, which they didn't find, obviously. They took whatever they took, and then they put this sheet metal to seal the offices and say, this is a closed organization. It's a terrorist organization. The good news is that Al-Haq just went and unsealed themselves and are working in their offices today. But this is really a very scary thing because they are trying to silence the voices of civil society. Yeah. And the only reason that they have hesitated at the beginning is because there was an international outcry. It's because people like you wrote to their Congress, wrote to their senators, wrote to their local radio and TV station, what's going on? So Israel sort of backed off a little. Now I think they feel that, especially after they got away with killing 47 people in Gaza without any whimper from the international community, they say we can do anything we want. Yeah. Because in fact, the Palestinians are weak. We don't have power. The only power we have is the solidarity of friends like you who will look and say, this is not right, this should not happen.
My goodness, thank you, Jonathan. I know you mentioned some of the significance and severity of what this means. Obviously, we're grateful for the spirit of the people to stand and continue their work, even though Israel's done what it's done. What would you say is the significance about this, not only for Palestinian civil society, but for the world?
Well, I think there are 2 ways of looking at things, whether it's Palestine, Ukraine, or Saudi Arabia, other places. And this is, either we live in a proper society that's governed by human rights, that's governed by international law, what our president calls a rules-based international order, or whoever's powerful can do whatever they want. And it doesn't matter because they have the power to do it. Right now, Israel feels it has the power. And Israel feels that the United States will prevent the UN from ever sanctioning Israel. Even when people in America, through civil society, try to use boycotts or divestments, then Israel clamps down on them and tries to make even that illegal and illegitimate. Again, the question is, do we live in a human, civilized society, or do we live in the jungle where the powerful can do whatever they want and nobody else cares?
Yeah, it's harkens back, of course, to others in the past who have reminded us that a threat to anyone is a threat to all of us. And so this watching them do this, seeing that they can just do whatever they want to people doing good things just because they don't want them to do it, is a threat to society everywhere if we, stand by and just watch this happen. And that leads me to my last question. I know at FOSNA we're working and we're going to be getting some things out to our base and to people throughout on how we can help and what we can do right now. Well, Jonathan, in your thoughts, what are the best next steps, not only for the 6 organizations, but primarily, especially for those of us who want to stand and support them?
Well, I think it has been shown that even the most oppressive regime that pretends it doesn't care about international public opinion, every regime does care. Every regime monitors very carefully how many people protested. Did the papers talk about it? Did it appear on television? Did somebody write to their senators? We know the senators will go with us, but did they receive enough letters from their constituency? Did the churches speak out? Did the unions speak out? Did the scientists speak out? Did the environmental people speak out? Did the human rights organizations in other parts of the world speak out? Or was everybody silent? If everybody's silent, we can do whatever we want. But if the world pays attention and looks and cares, then I think Israel will care, Russia will care, even a regime like North Korea, which seems not to care what the rest of the world does. They do care. They do care what is being said about them and how the world thinks about them and how the world treats them. And I think it's very true for Israel. They care what other people think. They care what their friends think. They care what people who are supposed to be their allies think. So I think we really need to step up and speak out at this time.
Jonathan, thank you for these thoughts from your heart. We appreciate them greatly. And to those who see this, please stay tuned. There'll be more from Jonathan, more from FOSNA, and by all means, please be as active as you can, partnering with us and all the other solidarity groups throughout the country here in the U.S. and throughout the world. Until next time, thanks.
Thank you.